I ain't got no choice, but it's been a lot going on. Oh, you mean this?
Yes.
I thought you meant where I was recording.
No.
I was like, why would I? Okay, not bro.
Just the view. That's it.
Bro, it has been
a hell of a Sunday already. All right, enough. Thank you. We appreciate that.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the JaySin podcast. This is your boy Jay Hunnit.
It's your boy Sincere Adventure, and this. You want to do this over?
No, we're good.
I can bring more energy. Hold on, let me give me a second. Hold on.
Come on. Muster something up. Put a battery on his back. Woo! Let's do this.
All right, let's get it. All right, let's do it. Yeah. Ready? What you sipping on?
I'm actually sipping on water.
Oh, okay. Come on. All right, let's do this. All right, let's do this correct. All right, let's go. All right.
Let's go.
What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? And welcome. It's your boy Sincere Adventure.
And it's your boy Jay Hunnit.
And this is the JaySin podcast.
Boom. There we go. Knocked it out.
There we go. All right, y'all. Welcome. How are you feeling?
Out the park.
You know what? Let me just go ahead and get to it instead of playing games. My week has been great. I have no real complaints. Today, I've been up since 7 this morning interacting with a realtor. Just to have the realtor tell me, hold on.
Bless you, sir.
Thank you. Just to after talking to the realtor since 7 this morning, just to have the realtor tell me about an hour and a half
realtor ago. For 4 hours?
Texting back and forth, yeah, but it went to 7 this morning.
Right.
That, you're out of my license area.
Okay.
So, are you going to refer me to someone else? Oh, yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
An hour goes by. What's going on with that referral? Oh, yeah, I got you one. His name is Nick.
Nick.
He's gonna talk to you. He said he's gonna get to you in about 10 minutes. We are now an hour and a half later.
Sounds like Nick is irresponsible.
So that has been my morning, and that is why I'm frustrated. And that is why I have been up since 7 in the morning on an ungodly time on a Sunday. But, it is what it is.
I mean, it's godly for others, but I understand where you're coming from.
Exactly. How about yourself?
Everything is fine and copacetic on this end. I mean, it was a good week. It was very productive, as always. And I'm actually getting my stuff ready to go to Dominican Republic for about the 10th time in about roughly 2.5 years.
Yeah.
But it's all for the family. It's all for the good. It's all for some resting. And it's just all for positivity and to relax my mind and to get away from the city a little bit as well, because things can become pretty tedious, after a while. You're waking up, seeing a whole bunch of things going on in the city. And I just figured maybe, we can switch things up, go on vacay, relax, chill with the family, go to rivers, go to beaches, do that kind of stuff,
At no point in any of this that you say, you know what, maybe I want to go get a little patata. You never said none of that to yourself?
I mean, that was somewhere deep within, definitely. But
they go home, get a little batata.
The batata is part of it, though.
There you go. See, there we go. So
it definitely is.
I'm happy for you. I'm glad that you are going to enjoy yourself and be out here. Morning, Nikki.
Good morning, Nikki.
I'm glad you are out here and going to enjoy yourself. So yeah, be safe as always, my G.
Appreciate that.
Tell the family we love them.
Definitely.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into these things. First off, go get your merch. Go get your merch. Okay? Go get your merch. Hey, Cuddy, what's happening? I was just talking about you last night. Via called me, and we were talking about you, champ. So, yeah, let's talk about you last night.
Cuddy was happening.
So, here we go.
Here we go.
YSL hit with 88-page Rico indictment. Whew.
Yeah, I think I read is about 63 charges, if I'm not mistaken. And my math serves me correct.
50. It don't matter. Then it's a whole lot of fucking charges.
They added another 7 a few days ago, too.
It's a whole lot of charges. And they adding more niggas.
Yep.
And if anybody knows how Rico works, they're going to keep adding niggas.
Yep.
And they're going to keep adding charges.
Yep.
Rico was created to take down the mob.
Yep.
If you don't know how Rico works, I don't know if it's my job to tell you. I'm not a lawyer. But long story short, if you are part of this group of individuals, you are being treated as one individual. If, to a certain extent, if anything is done under commission of this group and you are part of that group, you are in some way, shape, or form tied to said crime. That's pretty much how it goes down. And with that, there's no way for people to wiggle out of, well, I didn't actually touch the drugs. I didn't actually shoot the gun.
I was just around the people, right?
Right. Or I just, I didn't. Yeah, it's a way of, because remember, the mafia bosses never actually ever did shit.
Correct.
They just gave the orders. So
pretty much.
And because it wasn't paid a lot of the time, like it was just what you did as your job. Like it was just that's how they took down the mob. Just know that.
Of course.
Go do your research. Go do your research.
Another thing I wanted to add actually is the fact that when the federal government applies those RICO charges, it's because they do actually have substantial evidence of what's going on.
First off, anytime the Alphabet Boys come knocking at your door, when the Alphabet Boys come knocking at your door, it's over. It is like, I'm not saying you going down, but you probably not walking away scot-free. You giving up something, whether it be information, whether it be a lot of money, or it be some freedom. You giving up. You're not turning around and walking out of there.
Some type of plea deal, something.
Right. You're not beating one of these. This is not one of these gun possession charges that you caught and it just magically disappeared. Nah. If the feds showed up, they have years, probably with wiretaps.
Yep.
Physical, like, and that's what's happening with YSL and Young Thug.
And according to this case, actually, some of the evidence comes from, or it's like linked to specific songs that Young Thug had back in 2014, Podfolk.
Yeah, this case goes back to 2012. They have 10 years of evidence. And they even have a whole nother page. I don't know if you saw that, of people of interest, like Lil Baby's label. They had the non-trade Bloods. They had a bunch of other niggas on this paper. I don't want to talk about the charge. I don't want to talk about the actual crimes that were committed, because these are all alleged, and we're not about
they're all charges, basically.
Right. We're not about getting niggas indicted. I'm not here to get niggas indicted or pass that judgment, because I don't want you niggas doing it to me if I catch one.
Exactly.
But I do want to talk about what this means and how did we get here. Why are we talking about one of the most influential rappers in the last decade being in a situation like this. Now, this goes back to, does art imitate life or does life imitate art? And at what point do the two separate? That is what it is. Yeah, Nick is pretty crazy. But so at what point do the two separate? Now, I need you to understand this is not about guilt. We're not talking about guilt here. That's not why we're here. Okay? Um we're not talking about guilt. We are simply talking about what is going on. How do you get someone? And you know what bothered me is, I know that this is going to sound some sort of way. If you Google it, Young Thug's net worth is only Young Thug's net worth is only 8 million. Is only $8 million. Right? Like that's not a little bit of money, but for what has been transpiring for Thug to be so influential, you would think there was more. When you look at what he got for his birthday, he got an entire, I think it was a $1 million worth of land. Like, so this alone makes me question, why wasn't he worth more? For what he's done, for what he's accomplished, for everything. Why wasn't Thug worth more? That's the first question I ask. To me, why wasn't Thug worth more than 8 million? Right? Because that's weird to me.
You mean as long as he's been in music? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Why wasn't he worth more than 8 million? Why wasn't his net worth more than $8 million?
I see what you mean.
Like, there's something wrong with the math there, right then and there.
I agree.
Because there's no way he made 8 million stretch 10 years. No way. So the math is off. Somebody's lying, and they don't know what Thug is worth, and that's what I'm hoping the websites is off. But outside of that, this goes back to talking about where we come from. I say we because everybody in this culture comes from a predominantly rough place. A lot of people in this culture come from a predominantly rough place. You're talking about Atlanta, New York, Cali, the hoods, the ghettos of these cities. Underprivileged people, underprivileged upbringings, terrible schoolings, gangs, drugs, violence, all the bad shit that you could think of, festering and breeding and having to survive that. Having to survive and then thrive in these environments. These artists who these labels love come from these environments. And then they get on, and the first thing that they feel they got to do, because it's what you have to do in the hood. Like let me keep saying that, is what you have to do in real life. If you were to go to a new hood, you have to prove that you ain't no bitch to a certain extent, because niggas is gonna try you. You gotta stand your ground. You gotta let niggas know you ain't about to be pushed the fuck around. You ain't about that shit. You gotta let niggas know your resume. When you step inside of a prison, that's what you gotta hold your shit when niggas test you. When niggas step up to you in the street, you gotta hold your shit. You know what I mean? You gotta stand on that square, my nigga. That's how it is outside. So to them, when they make it into the industry, it's natural for them to be aggressive and let niggas know this what we bout out here. That's the music they making, because that's what they bout out here. Yeah, right? So when they then take that mentality and they take that shit that they know and they learned and they live into the music industry, at some point it's supposed to stop. You would hope it stops, but it doesn't always. And instead of making enough money to move your family out the hood, becoming a business person and living righteous, not by the book, but just living on a regular ass civilian path, you keep down this road.
Yeah.
And you buy the biggest house in the hood. You drive the nicest car in the hood. You still in the hood doing hood nigga shit at a higher level. That attracts attention. Mostly and mainly, it attracts unwanted attention. Not just from the people in your neighborhood, not just from the dope boys, not just from the gun boys, not just from the jack boys, but from the alphabet boys. The feds is watching. Oh, believe the feds is watching. And the IRS is watching. But can you blame them? They ain't never had shit. They don't know how to have shit. They don't know nothing but this lifestyle they come from. And because they are successful at portraying this lifestyle and living this lifestyle, not the niggas that's faking it, but the niggas who really come from it. They give it to you. They give it to you raw. They give it to you in the music. They give it to you in the videos. They give it to you in the interviews. You see the tattoos. You hear the stories. And the consumers eat this shit the fuck up. They gotta prove they a real nigga. But what happens is, by proving you a real nigga, you've now confirmed that you be doing this shit. Because that's how you prove. You confirm your resume. You prove your stripes. Because at some point, these niggas decided to leave anonymity at the door. See, niggas like Jay, who did it, still around. Niggas like Push, who did it, still around. Niggas like Ross, Jeezy, them niggas still around. You know why? Because a nigga could say, I sold drugs, and give you a detailed description of how he sold drugs without giving you a date, a time, who he sold it with, the license plate of the car. Like, these niggas are literally telling you the names of the niggas they killed. That's all drill music is, right? As much as I love drill music, as much as I love rap, bro, how long do you think you can scream dead niggas' names on records before them dead niggas' homies come see you or the feds come see you? This is not me hating on the genre. I fuck with the music. But my nigga, how long do you how like really? Why do I even need to explain this part to you? Why do I need to explain? If you keep giving niggas evidence, it will bite you in the ass. How about that? If you keep handing niggas evidence, it will bite you in the ass. And guess what? Them same fans that was eating that shit up while you was out here because they loved it, they gonna scream free you every time they see a post, and then they gonna find another nigga to replace you. We gotta do better, bro. We gotta do better, bro. Exactly, Nikki. Exactly. So, I mean, that's just how I feel. Dog. Like, it's
Yeah.
sad. It's sad, and it bothers me because I look at a situation, and it's not even just Thugger's situation. Casanova Two-Time had to plead guilty to his
Mm-hmm.
charges. He pled guilty to his charges right after this happened.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not gonna speculate, and I'm not. I'm not that. You know what I mean?
Now we don't do that around here anyway.
I don't have nothing to tie nothing to nothing, and I'm not
Nah,
gonna speculate.
we
But
not lawyers. We're not prosecutors. So.
he took them charges that he been fighting, and it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad. It sucks. But Jay, how you feel?
I mean, I felt all sorts of ways, to be quite honest. I think that a lot of people tend to remain with the same core of friends, and people that they actually did a bunch of stuff with. I'm not going to call it bullshit per se, but a lot of the negative things, a lot of the negative energy that's been put out there, you're still hanging around these people, and you're still doing the same thing, and you're not trying to change your life for the better. It falls on ignorance in part, of those people who choose not to basically change their life, to do something more positive with it. And I also think that people should come to a point. We should all strive one day to be just the better version of ourselves, and a lot of it falls on the actual culture that people are cultivated in, the actual product basically of the environment that they're coming out of as well. So it's a situation that's it's unfortunate when you're looking at it from 30 feet away, meaning that you're not involved in the situation, you're just seeing it. And what you said was very true regarding fans and how they look at people, that are that influential. And it's just as easy as turning off a TV basically and just being a fan for someone else. You're like, oh, this person's locked up. And life is just so precious, that I think that we should have that person that can really tell us, listen, you're going down the wrong path. Don't make this decision. But the problem is that once you basically keep that same core of people, that same core of yes men, that same core of followers, you kind of remain stuck, in that situation, until there's someone, maybe within the group that may gain some type of like enlightenment of some sort to actually put you in your place and tell you, yeah, you're the one making the money, you're the breadwinner, you're the leader, of this faction or whatever you want to call it, leader of this group. But I believe that you're taking the wrong steps and you're doing the wrong things. And that's a reason why, I've always been in your corner, because, Sincere's an artist, and I've always been the type of friend to just let him know how I really feel about something and not just go along with something. We've been in the studio together, for instance, and I've told him, that sounds, it could
Big
be a little
facts.
bit better.
Big facts.
So I also feel like, when you're raised, in that type of environment, and you do those kind of things and you commit those kind of like bad doings, basically, is what I want to say. You have to have people around. You have to have at least someone, just one person around you to maybe tell you something that could possibly change things for you and influence you, to do, better for yourself now that you're in a better position in life financially, and not continue doing the same old things that you was doing with the same old people, because that'll get you into the same old trouble on a higher scale, especially if you're making all this money and you're a person that everybody looks to, for whatever it is. May it be new music, may it be new art, of any kind. And it's just very, 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 very unfortunate, to see us, in this predicament. And when I say us, I mean Black people. And we just hope for the best, for everyone coming up. And I hope a lot of new talents, that are coming up, in the musical ranks can actually see this, and like just learn from that example that's being set, on these young Black men. And it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate all around. And I just think that, as you said, Sincere, we just need to do better as a whole. We need to check on our friends. We need to find out what they're doing with their lives. We need to be positive around people, and not encourage them to do these crazy things that, that we often used to do. Like, again, I'll repeat what I said earlier. I think as people, we're supposed to evolve from an emotional standpoint, from a physical standpoint, from a spiritual standpoint. We are supposed to live our purpose here. And we're supposed to leave the things that we've done in the past. And that's the trouble that some of us find ourselves in, and then there's just not that many positive influences around us as well, or genuine influences, I want to say, to help, in that case.
Agreed. I agree. And like I said, I without getting emotional, I always tell you I appreciate you for everything you've done. Perfect example, my homie Cuddy. There was a portion of our lives where me and Cuddy can't give y'all all the details.
Of course.
There were people in our lives and things we were doing at a point in our lives that we don't really talk about out, in public anymore. But we also both have grown and turned into phenomenal men. Cuddy is a phenomenal human. Where we come from and what we had to do to get there, doesn't define who we are. But at some point, we both knew it has to change for us to be successful. Like we gonna do what it is, and that's my brother in arms. Also, always will be. But that's a perfect example of we had to break away from certain niggas and certain things because we knew it was bad for us. We knew at some point it was never going to progress the way we should, as long as we stayed tied and tethered to certain people and certain things. That's just honesty. My homeboy David Brock, the same way. He's out here doing great things and comes from the same neighborhood, the same exact fucking block I'm from.
Yeah.
And him and my sister come up with each other. And Diamond is doing fucking phenomenal. He's doing phenomenal.
Yep. And we all from the hood.
And we all from the hood. But at some point, you got to figure out, all right, the niggas I'm around, are they moving with me or are they weighing me down? So, all right, let's go ahead and move on. Can you ever really be friends with your ex?
What inspired this, sir?
So I was listening to someone speak, and they were talking about how they have been with their significant other for something like 3 years, and they were still friends. It was let me give a little more specific. The woman I'm speaking of, she has been with her boyfriend for 3 years. At some point before they were together, they were just friends. So she had a first-hand look to see how close this man was with his ex. But they were together at that time. Right? She was there throughout the breakup. She kind of saw how it happened. And when they started dating, that relationship never disintegrated. He still was very much involved with his ex. As far as like they would go out to the movies, they would go out to dinner, she would come out to like the barbecues that they would throw, they would come to the birthday party. Like she was in their friends group now. You know what I mean? And at first she said she felt weird about it. But the longer she was around, the less she felt weird about it. They built a bond, they built a relationship. Fast forward 3 years. They break up, and now he is back with X.
Whoa. Wow. Wow.
So, to me, there's a bunch of things here that we don't need to necessarily highlight. But I will, because I'm petty. And
I will. One,
they didn't just get back together.
Hell no.
They've been fucking.
Yeah.
They've been fucking. Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't born last night.
They were probably fucking last night, though.
Exactly.
Okay. That time you thought that they went to dinner?
They were doing the Kama Sutra.
She was dinner. Okay. That time you thought that they went to boxing class? He was beating the pussy up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That time he told he was coming late from work. He was clapping them cheeks. And in between those buns.
In them buns.
Like a hot dog.
Like a hot dog.
Uh-huh.
Like a glizzy. Crazy. And you was allowing it. He was coming home with the juices on his meat and giving you hugs.
Yep.
Now, let me explain something. I believe you can be friends with your ex.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. But there are big ass red flags that let me know you're not just friends with your ex. See, that is where you know what I mean. we got look, if I come over your house and that nigga already there on your couch watching TV, eating snacks, we need to talk. Okay.
Yeah.
Why is you here with this nigga in your house by yourself eating snacks? Those is my snacks now. I earn them snacks.
Basics.
You and him want to go out to dinner every Friday. But I'm not invited. I can't go. No, this is just our friend time.
Nah.
What do you mean it's just our friend time? You know what? I can even imagine you saying this is just our friend time if you was doing some shit that I didn't want to do. If y'all niggas was getting dressed up in cosplay and saying, let's go to Comic-Con, this is our nerd thing. Okay, go ahead. Because I'm not doing that shit. I might fuck around and go to Comic-Con.
Right.
But I'm not getting dressed up with y'all. Y'all go and make your costumes and have fun.
Exactly. You go have fun with your friend.
But if I am actually interested in what it is y'all are doing, I feel like I should have an invite. I feel like I should have an invite. I just said, Nikki, I would want to go to Comic-Con. I just wouldn't dress up like a character. That's all I'm saying.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm not dressing up as a character. I might now. Who knows? Who knows? Who fuck it? Who knows? I have friends that do it. I just don't.
It's something you're not into, basically.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that I don't want you to have fun with your friend and your friend just happened to be your ex. Go get dressed. Go do the shit. But if you said, hey, I want to go to the Nets game, me and him, I think we're going to get some courtside seats. Bitch, I better be involved in this. I love the Nets. I love courtside seats, bitch. What you talking about?
Exactly.
I want to go to the opera. Okay. Go ahead. Y'all have fun. I'm going to see y'all later.
Yeah. Not into that.
We want to go to the Yankee game tonight. Bitch, I want to go.
Exactly. I like sports.
I like sports, bitch. Like,
the fuck?
So there's just certain things I feel like I'm uncomfortable with certain things.
I don't know. What about this? Just thinking about it in another angle. How about you not just being friends with any of your exes and not inviting that type of energy into your relationship? How about that? What's wrong with that?
I want to go as Chung-Li, Velma, or Mystique. Okay. I could definitely see Mystique and Velma. Chung-Li, I guess you got the eyes for it. Okay. I feel like yeah.
Because the thing is, at some point, that ex is going to get in between your relationship. You know, whether it be...
Oh, Natari. Yeah, Natari.
Natari, oh, from Avatar?
Yeah,
okay.
from Avatar.
I kind of lost my train of thought. But what I'm saying is, why basically invite these things, you know, into your relationship, you know, because at some point the ex is going to get in between an argument. Something's going to come up at some point with the ex involved.
At some point, the ex will get in between that ass.
Oh no, but that's for certain. That's definitely certain. But my thing is, you have to kind of like it goes back to what we were talking about, you know, with the YSL and all the indictments, Young Thug and everything that's going on. You have to kind of like have some discernment, you know, and just weigh things out and just think to yourself, like, if I were to take this step, would it affect my relationship or not? And if the answer is yes, then you have to take those steps. That's not going to affect, you know, your relationship if you actually indeed care about the person. And I don't care what people say in terms of like, no, you know, I'm not jealous, I'm open or whatever the case. No, I don't care. At some point, you're going to feel a certain way based on something that's going to happen between the person that you love or the person that you're dating or the person that you're married to with this so-called ex. You're going to feel a certain way because you are human. It has to be a case where you really don't care about this person and you don't care for them going out, you know, anywhere, even if it's a place that you're interested in with this said ex. So I just think that we just have to think about things, you know, before we do them. And that's like one of the oldest rules in the book. So you got to think about things before you say it. You got to think about things before you execute them and before you do them. So it's like, I don't know. I just feel like personally, it's inviting bad energy to still be friends with your ex, you know, while you're in a relationship with someone else. And obviously, if you're with this person, you know, this person actually has to be invited to whatever else you guys are doing. And that person has to be there and that person must be there. That person has earned the right to actually be present when you're with your ex or hanging out with them.
So here's the question. I'm still cool with mine, but we ain't going on dates and shit either. I hear that. That's what I'm about to say. I'm about to say there's a level of I believe you can be cool with your ex,
Mm-hmm.
and because you like the reality is you cared about this person. You did. You genuinely cared about this person. There was a physical attraction, but if you had a real relationship, you cared about this person. You cared about their well being. You met their family. You may have become attached to their family, to a certain extent. Um, that doesn't change. That doesn't change, especially if that person had children where you were attached to their kids and you dated for a while and their kids got to know you, and you don't just separate yourself from kids like that. I don't believe in that. Like I don't believe in just ripping people out of children's lives. I don't. Um, so we as black people, especially black men, go through a lot of when it comes to fatherhood and not having a father figure. If you were a father figure in a child's life for a substantial amount of time and then to rip you away, it's causing that trauma of not having a father all over again. Except maybe even worse, because coming up not knowing your father is one thing, but knowing someone who you loved and having as a father figure, and then having that person ripped away from you due to circumstances that are beyond your control, that hurts. I've been in that situation. Um, and I believe the reasons like this are why you can still be cool with your ex. I don't believe what we said before. I don't believe that we're gonna be out here like
Partying up.
right. I mean, it also depends on the relationship and depends on the people. My whole point is who realistically, all jokes aside, you can be friends with your ex in any capacity you like. You can be friends with your ex, or the person you're dealing with can be friends with their ex, in any capacity that you feel comfortable with. But there's always going to be that small percentage of doubt in the back of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
If everything else is like but but the thing about that is I can't allow that small fraction of doubt to outweigh what I am supposed to believe and trust in the person I am with. Because it takes two people to cheat. So as much as that nigga may be in your ear trying to get it back, you have to let it happen. You know what I mean? It takes two people to cheat. So as much as I may think this nigga's a snake, or I may feel like, okay, I don't know, I'm not comfortable. I'm not 100% comfortable with this nigga, but you know, if you want to still be around him, you'll be around him. Then sure. I know that this way of thinking isn't always the best, but I'm supposed to trust her. That's why we're in a relationship. I'm supposed to trust you. I'm supposed to trust that when he gets out of pocket, you need to check it. I'm supposed to trust that when he steps out of line, you check it. You know what I mean? So my small percentage of not trusting his intentions doesn't outweigh me trusting you as my partner, is what I'm saying. So if you can be friends with your ex, if you believe you can be friends with your ex, I believe it too. Just don't make me a liar. That's all I ask. Because I can be friends with mines, certain ones, but I would never make you a liar. That's all I gotta say.
No, I understand where you're coming from. again, like we're thinkers, between Sincere and I. And we stress the importance, I think, to be proactive, in everything that we do, in almost everything that we do. And if it's a situation where we believe that it's going to hinder, our relationship, well, me personally, now that I'm talking, if it's a situation that I feel like it's going to hinder my relationship somewhere down the line, I'm not going to say I'm going to cut ties completely, especially if there's children involved, but my access is going to be a lot limited as it was, it's just going to basically be a lot limited now that I'm in a relationship with someone and I'm dedicating my life, to be with this other person. So
Right.
it's like we have to like think about those things, and it all goes back to what you said actually in regards to checking on people. Like you have to check them at the door, let them know that you're in you're in a new relationship, and you wouldn't like those lines of respect, to be crossed, basically.
Right.
And I think all that is very important. If you're going to continue to be friends, with this person that you actually had a relationship with. And I guess Cuddy said it the right way. He's like, I'm cool with it, but we're not doing dates or any of that shit. We're not going out, we're not doing dates, we're not setting time for us for like, one-on-one. Like there's none of that. Like there shouldn't be any of that, I think. But if there's enough trust in your relationship, then by all means, you can do whatever you want, pod folk. I'm just talking about like just me personally, like my relationship. I wouldn't want, for instance, my spouse hanging around, with her ex, and I don't know. That's just me. That's just human nature.
Shout out to J-Lo. Shout out to Jen. I'm actually cool. Me and Gracie are actually cool with his ex too.
Right.
So once again, like I said, this is my brother, so it's not as if we don't know his ex too. She then came to New York and visited us without Cuddy. Like so that was the bond that we all have, and we all still cool. So you know what I mean? That seems a little weird when you say it out loud, but y'all don't know shit.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know the dynamics of our relationships.
No, like I said, that's perfectly fine. You can maintain that coolness, with that person. It's just the access has to be a little bit more limited as to
Yeah.
what it once was when you were actually with this person and in a relationship with them. It has to be somewhat limited. You have to somewhat respect, your new relationship or whoever you're with at the moment, and just try to have discernment and just try to make, the best decisions, for your relationship, and try not to let that ex that you're cool with become an issue in your current one. And that's it. But anything is possible, like I first said when you first mentioned that question.
And before we get out of here today, is James Harden washed up?
Oh, indeed. Indeed. I mean, we're talking about a person that has played, I think, the most minutes in like about a 10-year span in NBA history. So he's definitely more than washed up. And I don't think it's only that, Sin. I think it's also the fact that he's lost his will, to just play basketball at a high level when the pressure is on. I felt like he's lost that, like, just completely. Like, he'd have his moments in the playoffs or whatever, and then in key moments when he is needed, he's disappeared. But I feel like at this point, he's not even trying. He's like Ben Simmons. Like, that's how I see him. In the second half of game 6, I think he only attempted 2 shots in
And
all
one
the
of them,
second half.
and one of them came with 1:03 left, and they were already down by 12. Like it was just a chuck shot. Like
That was totally inexcusable, on his part. And I kind of felt bad for the young Maxi, when he was in the bench and he was just so like disappointed basically in James Harden. And I guess they got into a brief spat, like into a brief argument, and you just saw Maxey like, damn, like he's probably thinking in his mind like, you know what, you're someone that I actually used to look up to, and I was so happy that you came on board to play, the game of basketball with me on my team, and you're not even performing like up to anybody's standards. You're not even doing not even the minimal at the moment. You're not even trying. So I could like somewhat understand his disappointment as being a younger player, and seeing that in someone like James Harden, someone that has played like all the minutes in the world basically and has been in the league for so many years, to like just for it all to just go down like this. It's like, ugh, it's just gut wrenching for everyone involved. And he would not get no max deal if I was a GM in Philly.
Before James Harden was traded from the Nets, he was averaging 20 and 11 in a down year.
Mm-hmm.
And they was saying it was the end of the road. Over the past two to 3 years, we've watched his numbers drop, but it's not always the numbers you watch. It's the play.
Mm-hmm.
James Harden has that step back jumper. The between the legs, 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 step back jumper. When was the last time that nigga drove to the basket? Like I like, and this is not cap. I remember him driving to the basket one time in Game 6. It has gotten to the point where James Harden dribble, step back,
shot,
falls to the ground, won a call every time.
Mm-hmm.
Every time. It's so sad to watch. But then I watch him go to the rim. Nigga, when was the last time you watched James Harden dunk? I watch him move up and down the court, my nigga, then I go, I get it. His body's shot.
Yep.
His body is shot.
Those minutes have come back to haunt him.
Those minutes in Houston he's burnt.
Yeah.
Now, is the skill set still there? Yes. You saw it in Game 5. You saw it. I'm sorry, you saw it in Game 4.
Yeah, you saw the glimpses of it. Correct.
You saw glimpses of it. The skill set is still there. The body, the will, as you said, they're not.
They playing Marco Polo.
He was averaging 9 and 11 on his decline with Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about someone who averaged 20 and 11 in a decline. That's how good he was.
Exactly.
And
we're talking about a former MVP, someone that used to average close to 30 points a game. We're talking about all of those things.
If he was averaging 20, if he was a regular nigga averaging 20 and 11, we'd be praising him.
Mm-hmm.
But we saw the writings on the wall, and then Brooklyn got him out of there because he wasn't happy. He wanted out of there. Got him to the Sixers, and the Sixers, Philadelphia, really thought they won that trade. They did. They really Philadelphia really believed they won the trade.
They thought they had gotten Robin for Embiid's Batman, basically.
They didn't. They had Robin the whole time. Maxey was right there.
Yep. He was ascending, definitely.
Harden, I want to say this. I'm going to say Harden is washed, but I don't think Harden is finished.
Oh, he's definitely washed.
He's washed, but I don't think he's finished. I believe that Harden leaves this season, and if he gives a fuck about his body, I'll be in the strip clubs. Harden be in the strip clubs.
Mm-hmm.
I done been in a strip club many a time with James Harden.
Right.
If I catch Harden in the strip club, I'll let y'all know.
Basics.
And what I mean by catch him doesn't mean if I see him in the strip club, because I'm not gonna tell you every time I see this nigga in the strip club. That nigga deserves to go out and have fun.
Of course.
But what I'm talking about is if I'm catching him there at 4 in the afternoon on a Tuesday, nigga, this is my time. Why are you not out somewhere working on your shot? Why are you not at one of these rehab facilities getting your body worked on? Now, 1 o'clock in the morning, my nigga, by all means, come out. Because they can't be doing no rehab on your body at 1 in the morning.
Nope.
But at 2 in the afternoon, you need to be in somebody's hospital, somebody's doctor's office, somebody's gym, somebody somewhere. And Cuddy is a hater. Well, no, he's not really a hater because I agree. But Cuddy, what you forgot is we also got Seth Curry,
a bunch of picks,
Drummond, and a bunch of picks.
A bunch of future picks. Yeah.
And I wasn't sold on Andre Drummond, but he did do a really good job with us. And Seth Curry was amazing. So if Ben Simmons never wears a Nets jersey, I wouldn't be sad. I'll keep telling y'all I'm done with that narrative. And I'm done with that storyline.
Was it you that I was texting when I mentioned that that's what separates, I guess, LeBron James from other players is the fact that at 2 p.m., in the afternoon, like you mentioned, he's actually in a gym, working out or working on his jump shot or working on something to better his game or to keep his game afloat. And I think that's very important to highlight as well. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant was an endless worker as well. He was the first one in, last one to leave, basically. And I think you can lump Carmelo Anthony and James Harden kind of in the same realm in a sense where they didn't care enough for their body. So when they got older, they'd be in better standing, as a player.
I think Melo had a better all-around game, which is why even with that, he was still at times the most productive nigga on the Lakers this year.
Right.
Because Melo is a walking bucket in multiple ways. Melo will hit you with the 3. He'll pull up mid-range, and you fuck around and sleep. Melo will blow by your ass and hit you with a layup.
Well, what I'm saying is but
I know what you're saying.
Right.
And I agree that they depended more on their skill than their physicality and didn't do the physical part of it to last as long and be as fruitful as a LeBron James. And I agree.
Correct.
It's just we haven't talked about Melo being as washed as Harden because Melo has never allowed himself to do that. Melo retired before he be out here looking like James Harden.
I think so. I really agree with that because if there's a game where Carmelo just takes 2 shots in the second half of a playoff game, we definitely know that something is wrong. And he just needs to leave the game of basketball. He just needs to leave it alone.
Melo taking 2 shots with 2 possessions, my nigga. The first 2 possessions he got is shots coming your way, nigga. Melo putting them things up.
Holy shit, bro.
Melo putting them things up. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been amazing. We appreciate y'all coming out. We do. We appreciate everybody.
Shout out to people who tuned in.
Yeah,
appreciate you. Get always. That new merch. Get that merch.
Jay will not be with us tomorrow because he will be in DR getting some patata.
You go.
But Nikki will be with me tomorrow on Convos.
Hopefully Grace as well be on the JaySin podcast OT.
She has yet to answer me about that. So
you sent her the invite and she just has left you on scene, basically.
Pretty much. She knows it's there. She just ain't said shit about it. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna see how that goes.
Okay.
But
so we'll leave it as a surprise.
We'll leave it as a surprise. But until then, we appreciate y'all. Jay, have a safe flight.
Thank you, kind sir. Appreciate you.
Have some pork chops for me over there.
Definitely.
Fried joints. Yeah, I need that.
It's the land of fried food that I'm going to.
I need that.
They fry everything, even cereal.
I need that and the queso frito. I need that too.
You want some queso frito? Nice.
I love the queso frito.
Okay, I got you.
Everybody be safe. We love y'all. Until next time, don't forget, subscribe, follow, share, comment, all that
notification bell. We on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud. Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate you.
All of that shit. Go do that shit. And then, yeah, that's it. All right, we out of here.
We out.
Bye.